Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Nerds on Culture with Stormybman for this Monday, November 3rd, 2025. This is number 140 in the series of our Nerds show and broadcast. And this evening, we are going to talk about a 1981 feature sci-fi, then at the time epic, Clash of the Titans, with special effects done by the famous, renowned Ray Harryhausen. That gentleman was responsible for so many films that brought imagination to reality. It was like he had a depth of understanding of how to go and transition that from a page of art to making it live and mobile on cinematic experiences. So we're going to talk about this film a little bit. Some of you may have heard of the remake Clash of the Titans from, I think it was 2012, something like that. But we're not talking about that one this evening. And that had a sequel called Wrath of the Titans. And we may get into those films at a later time. But first of all, we've got to get into this film because it is kind of a groundbreaking film for the genre of the Greek god films and things of that nature, and mixed in with a little mythology along with some elements of reality. But of course, especially when they do casting, they choose to make sure that the shades are different when these people appear on the film. So, but no further ado, let me introduce my partner in crime. We got Drew Titan in the building with me this evening, back with us this evening, but we won't drill too long because my man is still recovering. But how you doing this evening, man?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I didn't move today, Stormy. I didn't move today. I got up this morning, you know, did my normal, well, not my normal. I start my morning when I roll out of bed. I usually start with 50 push-ups, but can't do that. Not now. So, got up, got freshened up, did my live. And I said, I should go out, go for a walk, and I gotta make this calls. I said, you know what? I'm not doing a mother effing thing. I'm gonna sit in my man chair right behind me, and I got everything ready for the week. And I just relaxed, called the parents, and I took it easy. I ate a little bit of food. I ate a little more food than I'm supposed to eat today.
Well, you know what? Let me stop you right there. You sound like me, and I ain't even injured. So you may want to take some damn notes.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, damn, you talking about how I start my day off.
Yeah, man. I just relaxed. I just relaxed, and I said, let me just heal up, and I'll be, moving and shaking next week. Next week. I'll be moving and shaking next week. It's the birthday week, and my wife has some things planned, so I'm not gonna be on air for about 4 days, probably 4 days.
It'll probably do you some good. You might not even have to take your BP medicine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Sheesh. You know what I mean?
Like, oh, baby, I feel kind of good. Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be like relaxing and just taking it easy, man. Taking it easy. And
well, don't worry, we'll have plenty of BS for you when you get back. That just means I might have to take a little extra, but I got some high water boots, they call them, so the socks won't get soiled, because it's getting thick out here. Ain't no lying about that.
Nah, that's true. That's true, man. I'm gonna do some short videos, but the live streams I'm gonna chill for the next, like, not this week, but next week, of course. But I'm gonna be around, but not as active, because I'm just gonna, I got a lot of things I'm doing. So it is what it is. I'm around, but the rest is much needed. I ain't gonna hold you, because ladies and gentlemen, we're content creators. We don't and I'm not firing shots at any of my brothers or sisters. We're not reaction channels. We don't just click on something and watch it and comment on it. And that's not to talk about anyone that does it, because that does take work. But what we do is, it comes from the heart. This is actually something that we do off the dome. We're like freestyle rappers. We put up a title and we said, all right, we're just going to speak from the heart. That's why I say follow us on all platforms, Rumble, Patreon. I just put up a Patreon, and what I had to talk about, I couldn't talk about it on YouTube, because I got to let an F-bomb or two fly, and I'm definitely going to hurt Miguel's feelings and his boyfriend Jerome, talking about how I want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's the paid thing over there, so I just let it fly over there. Rumble is going to be a little more loose too, but we have options, and I'm actually happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm actually happy about that.
That's a wonderful thing. By the way, are you checking to see if it's coming through over there?
Yeah, I just posted on there. It says we got 4 eyes on it over there. So yeah.
But is the video playing and everything? Okay, cool. Cool. That's good business. Good business. And like we said, we're trying to not only exercise our options, but this is pushback. We fighting. This is a battle, and we're in the midst of it. And there's no letting the shields down or anything. But like you just said a moment ago, it's great to have options, brother. Great to have options.
So I tell everybody, man, and let me tell you something. It feels good I'm telling you, when I do the and salute to Derek Gaines, he just watched the Patreon video. It feels so good playing the music I want to play and saying whatever the F I want to say without censoring myself. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta, there's another video that I'm gonna put up. It's something I want to discuss, but I need to make sure that the part I'm gonna play doesn't violate their standards, because I know they got some standards. I don't want to, you know, because there's something I want to play because I need to make this point. But if I told y'all with the video that I have, y'all not gonna believe it. Y'all not gonna believe it. But I have the video of it, and you know, it's disgusting, man. But it's about the times that we're living in, and it's just disgusting. But I have to check with Patreon and find out, can I air this? Even if people are paying for it, can I show this? Because if I tell y'all, you're not gonna believe me. You're not gonna believe me. But I have the video. But I wouldn't even think about airing it on YouTube. You know, I wouldn't even think about it. But it feels good having options where I can go somewhere and do that. And Rumble is another option. I'm still getting educated on what we can do there. I'm just trying to find out, can we play the music we want to play over there? Because I really want to do a Beats with Sugar over there on Rumble. You give people an opportunity to come hang out with us over there, and we just play. Oh man, I got so many beats we could play, man. So many things, man.
Man, you have no idea. You only got a little smidget of my idea of music when we were out there at the meet and greet in Vegas, and we was at the house, and I took over the thing where I was
on the TV
in a little bit.
Yep.
You notice how I changed the whole energy,
the whole trajectory side. I felt like I was you were playing the music that I used to listen to. Of course, I was a kid. But that's what my uncles and my aunts and my pops used to listen to Saturday nights, Sundays, when we were just in the house. The adults were adulting somewhere, and I was upstairs with my cousins playing Atari, listening to that music. That's how we all know it. It brought me there, man. So, yeah, we definitely got to do Beats with Sugar. We definitely got to, you know, I wonder if we can get away with it on Rumble as far as like the beats is concerned, the music.
What's my man name that was laid out in the ground outside? I forgot his name.
Oh man, that brother. And I told you, man, what the hell is his name? I got his phone number too. But I told you that's the second time that brother did that. He did it.
Yeah, you told me. And it was so funny, man, because he got all mellowed out and everything after harassing Queen 71. Like,
that was wild, man. I said, what the fuck? I said, I said he did this last year. He did this but we were in public where he was passed out on the floor.
Yeah, he was pretty much. He was
passed out on the floor in Vegas. But I said, y'all better check on him. It's 100 degrees outside. I said, he's still breathing? It was like, nah, he breathing. He just I said, this is normal? Chill, man.
Man, at one point, you said, I think those were your exact words. You said, is he still breathing? And he was laid out, but his arms was like stretched behind his head like this. But when you said, is he still breathing? He heard you because he did this. His hands did like this, Drew. He went.
That is... Man, I was like, what's good? What's to this dude, man?
I was dying laughing, man.
Well, next year we in New York. I'm gonna let him off the rip, man. Don't do all that drinking until you know you're not moving from wherever we at. You know what I'm saying? Because they literally had to mop him up in Atlanta, and I forgot who he rode with back to wherever he went, but that was crazy. That was crazy. I was like, chill, buddy. Good.
Yeah. But let's get into our topic for this evening. How did you come across Clash of the Titans?
Oh man. Well, first of all, it came out in 81, so that was 6. My brother got 5 years on me. So of course, our minds are blown by things like this. We grew up on Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, everything fantasy. And you see this poster? This is eye-catching to a 6-year-old. And I saw this in the movies. And I thought that owl was the coolest damn thing in the world.
Bobo.
And I wanted one so bad, but here go my brother. They don't make those things. That's how he sounded to me. Why are you talking? They don't make things like that. They'll never make it. We got drones flying around right now. You know, sometimes I call my brother, just a little sidebar. Sometimes when they make an invention, you know, I call him up. I'll be like, "Hi, you see?" And he'd be like, "What are you talking about? 1983, you said they'd never make nothing like this. Look." Yep. I do that. He was good for crushing my dreams. They'll never make nothing like that. You know what? I can get a drone. I bet you they made that owl. I bet you somewhere someone made that owl and it flies. I bet you. But that's what drew me to the movie, the damn owl. It was in the commercial. And his head spun around. I said, "Oh, look at that." And the poster, I remember this poster, and there was another one. I just wanted to see it. It was all about barbarians and Star Trek and lasers. I was a kid's kid, man. In kung fu movies, it was all about this. And Clash of the Titans was one of those things where you had to go see it so you can go talk about it in school.
Right.
Or at the playground. Because I don't remember, what month did this come out?
Give me a second. I'll let you know, because I got that information right on the side of my screen, but I was trying to pull something up real quick. Because there was another theatrical poster that I wanted to try to pull up. This came out in June 12th, 1981.
Okay, so school was just ending for me. School was just ending, so we was definitely outside playing Perseus and everything else. But I'm gonna tell you, young cats, if you've never seen the original one, you're gonna laugh. It's gonna hurt. Oh man, that's an epic scene right there.
Yeah, right.
Epic scene right there. That's epic. He fought the Kraken. Release the Kraken.
Yeah, I had several images of that one, but that one is like a really clean, sharp one. Yeah, I'll use this one.
Oh yeah.
That other theatrical poster that we were just talking about, because I'll put this image back up in a second, was this one here.
There you go.
Yeah, this is like the original theatrical poster. They used to do this a lot back in the I want to say, like, going from the mid 80s back, certain epic films, they would show the cast of who's in the movie on the side. And I don't know if you really recognize my kind of paying homage to that. Like when I do my Kung Fu film focuses, a lot of times I'll put the actors on the side of the posters, you know, like that, so you'll see who was in the movie. Yeah, that's where I get that from, because they used to do this a lot, man. They don't do that anymore.
No,
with
they don't. You know, this man, this right here, that's an interesting statement, Adrian Vet. I didn't know that. You see that? I didn't know that. Wow. I didn't know that. That was crazy. That's crazy. But all of these things that you see today, in the 80s, there was a video game called Rygar. Later on, PlayStation 2, God of War, Stormy. I'm sure you've seen that character, Kratos.
Yeah, of course.
Jesus Christ, that's a deep story, man. You can watch the whole game play on YouTube. The whole, from the first God of War all the way up to the PS5. It's a thing of, I'm amazed. God damn, man. He beat the Greek gods, and then he ended up fighting Thor. It was crazy. But Adrian's right. That Medusa head bothered me as a kid. That messed with me. And again, you young kids, if you go back and watch the original one, you're gonna die laughing. You know what I'll tell y'all to do? Make your TV black and white when you watch it, so you won't feel as bad. Make it black and white. You're gonna laugh at us, but you gotta understand, back then, that's what we had, and that's what we dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And we knew it was fake. But you remember he fought the what was the horse demon's name with the horse feet?
The Centaur.
Yeah, man, that was badass back in '81.
Yeah,
that was badass.
That was, Ray Harryhausen was very famous for those kind of creatures and everything. In fact,
yeah,
you know, I think we should do a show on the Sinbad films too, because he did the special effects for those films. Like one of the amazing scenes that was so well done that even to this day he's famous for was when Sinbad was fighting the skeletons. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
He was having a sword fight with all these skeletons trying to kill him. They had swords, and then he had the one-eyed Cyclops in there.
Yes.
And then from the one-eyed Cyclops, he ended up having that other beast, the Centaur, that had he had a horn on his head and everything, but he had hair and everything. But the Cyclops, they were talking about how he created these creatures. They used to use he used to build these like do you remember erector sets?
Yes, I do. Oh wow.
Dude,
I was a
my
Lego
dad
robber.
bought me one when I was a little kid, and I used to make all kinds of stuff for that.
It was a little more serious than Lego.
It was a lot more serious, actually, because you had to actually screw things in and piece them together. But he would build frames, a skeletal frame for his creatures, and they had full articulation. They were metal frames that you can move. They had joints and everything, and then over them it was like a rubber that he would cover the frames with, and then he would add hair and eyes and details, teeth or whatever, if the creature had it or called for it. And they used what was called at that time stop motion animation. And it was like you would move a character, like I think they said like a tenth of a second or whatever, every couple of frames or whatever. And that's how you would get those characters. And sometimes in the final movement, they seem like they're moving like this.
Yeah.
But he was so good at that. And some of those characters that he made were amazing. Like, remember Pegasus, the flying horse?
Yes, I do.
Dude, that was like, and they had like a real horse and then the animated horse that had the wings on it.
Right.
You know, like with the close-up shots, it was like a real stallion, you know? It was white. And then when you get ready to take off, it would be like, it was like the animated one. But it's like, you didn't get mad at it because you could kind of escape into the stories, you know? It was so cool, though. It was
I don't recall, was there a toy line for this? I want to say there was.
If there was, I don't remember. But probably not, and I'll tell you why. I don't recall any of Ray Harryhausen's creatures being sold in the stores, because otherwise I would have bought some.
Yeah, I don't recall. Let me see if I could. Maybe I don't recall.
And you know what's great? And I recommend this to anybody. You know, Peter Jackson did a remake of King Kong in the early 2000s. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay, well, Peter Jackson's King Kong, he talked about the influence of the original film and how it was like his favorite film, and he always wanted to do a remake of it, but with a lot of respect to it and everything. When they re-released the other Kong, when Peter Jackson's Kong went to video, they re-released the original Kong because I think it was some anniversary that it fell upon. They got behind the scenes footage. They show you the Kong that they used in the 1933 film.
Yes.
And he's kind of like missing some hair on the body and stuff because it's so old. But they show it to you. He's about 16 to 18 inches tall and full articulation. Like I said, and that was Ray Harryhausen too. And it just all of that special effects, man. And like I said, he would have these frames, like skeletal frames, metal frames that he would build for his characters. And he would put them out there. And Peter Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, he purchased it or something. It's on the special features of the King Kong DVD that he did. And he really did the film justice too. He did the original take from 1933, just, you know, remade it and did it. I thought it was pretty good. He did it. And his special effects and everything, his Kong looked like a real silverback. You know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this genre here, if I were to say like a third love of mine, would be films like this that had these type of special effects in them and stuff. Because I just always got into that stuff, man. I really did. But this film was very successful. Like I said, it was released June 12th, 1981 in the United States, July 2nd, 1981 in the UK. And it had a budget of somewhere between 9 and 15 million. And the final box office was 70 million. So it really made its money back and then some, yeah. And starred Harry Hamlin, who was known through a lot of the films in the 80s and stuff like that. Laurence Olivier was back. He played Zeus, I believe, in this film. Maggie Smith, Burgess Meredith. I don't care what this rank, you get no shot.
Get no shot. Burgess Meredith was the original Penguin, y'all.
Yes, he was in the Batman TV series. Yeah.
Wah.
Ursula Andress, who was a very famous woman actress at the time, femme fatale, and Judy Bolker. But this movie was pretty good. It's an epic fantasy adventure film directed by Desmond Davis and written by Beverly Cross, loosely based on the Greek myth of Perseus, starring Harry Hamlin, Judy Bolker, Burgess Meredith, Maggie Smith, and Laurence Olivier. The film features the final work of stop-motion visual artist Ray Harryhausen, who also co-produced the film alongside Charles H. Schneer. I didn't realize, now thinking back, because I didn't see too many like these kind of films after this was his final work. I think he might have passed after that. It says it's an international co-production between the US and the UK. Clash of the Titans was theatrically released June 12, 1981 and grossed 41 million at the North American box office, making it the 11th highest grossing film of the year. A novelization by Alan Dean Foster was also published in 1981. A 3D remake of the same name was released by Warner Brothers on April 2nd, 2010. That's why I said 2012. So I was off a couple of years about the remake, Clash of the Titans. So there we go. You know, this film, let me reveal some of the stuff about the special effects. It says Ray Harryhausen used stop motion animation to create the various creatures in the film, including Calibus, his vulture, Pegasus, and Boo the mechanical owl. Dioscelos, Medusa, the scorpions, and the kraken. Stephen R. Wilk wrote that though the film story sticks closer to its sources than any other interpretation. Check that out. Didn't I kind of allude to that earlier? I said facts and fiction and some true elements, but I said they got the shades wrong.
So
here it is. They're saying, and I hadn't even read this. I'm reading this live. I didn't pre-read this, so I'm learning as you all are as I read it. It says one of the creative liberties taken is Medusa's biology, which differs from any previous representations, ancient or modern. With the lower body of a snake rather than legs, Harryhausen's Medusa has been called one of the most recognizable characters in model animation cinema history. Two identical models of Boo the mechanical owl were made, one that contained remote controlled motors that allowed it to move when handled by the actor, and a stop motion model because the movements of the live action model were more limited. Roger Ebert called Clash of the Titans Harryhausen's masterwork. Harryhausen was also a co-producer of the film and retired from filmmaking shortly after it was released. Okay, so he retired. He was just done with that because he had been doing it. Like I said, it goes all the way back to like 1933 when he was doing King Kong. So it goes on to say, despite Bobo's similarities to the droid R2-D2 of the 1977 film Star Wars, Harryhausen claimed that Bobo was created before Star Wars was released. The BBFC, reviewing the film for certification in 1981, said Harryhausen's effects were well done and would give entertainment to audiences of all ages, but might appear a little old hat to those familiar with Star Wars and Superman. The stop motion Troglodyte figurine used in Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger was cannibalized to make Calibos. The stop motion Ymir template used in 20 Million Miles to Earth was also recycled to make the Kraken. Now remember, I was just saying he used some of those former creatures for different productions. Right. Now, when he talk about Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, that figure there, Calibus, that's the Cyclops.
Yes.
And the character in this film that was the original what do you call it, the character, it was like he was like the one that had 4 legs, you know.
Right.
So I'm just trying to backtrack because I didn't even pre-watch this, though I have it in my film collection. I didn't pre-watch it before we did the show because I wanted to come in here and talk about it kind of spontaneously, because films like this, like I said, I like them. They're a part of my cinematic experience, and I love these kind of films, man. I could sit up and watch films like this all day, like on a day off or something. I could really get into this kind of fare, man. I enjoy it a lot. So
yeah, I pulled up I must have missed this.
Hold on a second, let me take the picture down.
Those are the figures from it says 1980.
Okay.
80, so they probably released these before they released the
yeah, before the movie.
Yeah, this is I missed this.
Man, look at that price.
Jeez, man, look at that. Yeah, that's yeah, there's a lot going on there. I also found yeah, this one is broke up. This one got a leg missing, but they got the dude with the horns on his head. The senator, Devil's Boatman, the Devil's Boatman. Man, I missed all of this stuff because I would like to have had it. I know me.
Well, you know what that means? It's just that we didn't have like now with the internet and everything, you could pull stuff up, but like I guess it would affect regionally too where you are. Because when they would run TV commercials for toys and stuff, sometimes you didn't see, like we did a show talking about Mattel toys and stuff, right? And when we talked about the $6 million man, I know, like, because I had the $6 million man action figure, and what came with him in the box was like an engine. And you could use him, and you press this button in his back, and it make that sound. And he can lift his engine up. And he had these little computer-like things. You could put one in his arm and one in his leg. Okay. And he had one eye because you look through the back of his head. It was like a
I remember that.
Yeah, you could look through like because his bionic eye. But what I didn't realize until like after I had him for a while, that they had made an Oscar Goldman, his intelligence officer, agent officer, and then they had made that
the John Saxon,
kid. Yeah, what was his name in the show? Because
I forgot.
Yeah,
wasn't that creepy when he knocked his face off?
His face off, yeah. Oh. And they made a figure for him, and I didn't know until several years later. And I had grown, you kind of outgrow those toys, right? And I don't buy that no more. But it's like by the time I found out that they had made the John Saxon figure, that was probably maybe 6 years later or something.
I got a cousin that's about 3 years older than me. He had that one and the face came off.
Yeah.
He also had the Star Trek action figures of the whole bridge, and it folded like a little blue lunchbox, but it was padded, and when you unfolded it, it was the bridge.
Yeah.
Kirk, Spock, Sulu, Uhura, and Scotty. In that, it was crazy, but the $6 million, I forgot his name in the show, but John Saxon's character, the face came off. I remember that. Oh man!
If I'm not mistaken, it started with an S. His character's name.
That was a cool ass episode.
Google it real quick. What was John Saxon's character's name on $6 Million Man? Because it should come right up.
Okay.
Man, I'm looking at these toys. I never saw these toys, bro.
Yo, that Kraken.
Yeah.
I do recall seeing that. Major Sloan.
Sloan.
The robot Major Sloan.
He had another name.
John Saxon was a friend. What was his name? It says Sloan. Let's find out. It's gonna kill me if I don't find out. It was Frederick Sloan. Wait, hold on. Let me read it. Major Frederick Sloan and the robot Nedlick. He was first introduced as Sloan in the episode Day of the Robot, before appearing as the villainous robot Nedlick in the later episode. So I think he started off regular, and then his name changed. Is that what it was?
Yeah, but I know it started with an S. I know.
By the time it was Sloan. It says here Sloan. But I know by the time I saw it, it was reruns, but it was still cool.
Yeah.
Because that came out in 74. But what inspired me to go back when the reruns aired, Stormy, of course, was because my cousin and my older brother, they had the damn toys. So I'm growing up like, yo, what is this? It's like, oh, it was $1 Million Man. And then when they was re-airing it, I was like, man, I gotta watch this. And then when I finally saw that episode, I was like, oh, and, you know, I was a nerdy kid. I'm watching the episode while holding the toy.
Do you remember early in that series that they had some special effects where they would show Lee Majors running in fast motion? You remember that?
Oh yeah, I have that. I put
Tank
Davis' face on that.
Yeah, they did it a couple of times, but most of the time they would show him running in slow motion. You know, that's supposed to be like for you to keep up with him, you know, because he was faster than a car or whatever. But yeah, that was so cool, man. $6 Million Man was a cool ass show.
It was. Highlight what Derek Gaines said, man. I like what he said right there because I have something to say about that. I like what he said right there. He says, is it me or the movies with stop motion had better storylines? I'm going to say yes, Derek.
Yeah, I would agree too.
Because the special effects were as such where, you know, they did the best they could, and it was
they had to tell the story on.
They had to tell the story. We relied on the story.
So they would work as earnest as they could on the special effects for believability's sake.
Yes.
But they had to take what was on the page and bring it to life. So yeah.
So
absolutely.
I agree, Derek. Yes, you're right on that. And we had better storylines, had better acting. Whereas today, with all this AI and you know, all of this stuff this amazing things we can do today, a lot of the stuff lacks in storyline. You understand? So I would agree with that.
And also, Adrian, about the Medusa, I don't think they've done a better Medusa than the one that was in this film, because I've seen them, you know, redo Medusa in different stories and stuff like that. But in this film, she was amazing.
Yeah, she was frightening.
Yeah.
She was frightening, man. I'm trying to find this video. Oh, found it.
That's why I had put this image up here where he had finally taken her down, because she was, you know, oh my goodness. And then when they showed what she was doing to people,
oh man, that was bad.
How she would, you know, end them for looking at her, man. And do you remember when they first unveiled her hair, her head?
Oh
yeah,
that was bad,
right?
Stormy, you can see it?
Yeah, hold on a second, let me take this image down.
I'm a jerk for this. You can see it?
Yeah. Oh man,
I'm a jerk. I'm a jerk.
You got sparks sticking up out of his Oh man.
Oh man, I'm an idiot, man.
That is crazy, bro.
I'm an idiot. I am legend. Salute, good brother. I'm telling you, the hour was dope, man. Man. Let me see if they have like that, like anywhere in stock. How do you spell the owl's name?
B-U-B-O. Bubo.
B-U-B-O?
B-O, yeah.
Stormy.
Yeah.
They have it.
Oh yeah?
They have it. They have it. I'm gonna send this to my brother. They'll never make this. What are you talking about? Look! It's right there. And I bet you they built one that actually, I bet you somewhere somebody built a drone around this thing and makes it fly around his backyard or something.
Do you remember the sound he used to make? Like that little whistle. You remember the sound he used to make? That little whistle sound?
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta get this. Oh, come on, bro. I gotta get this. I bet you his head spin and everything. Wait, I think that's the updated one though, from the new movies. I want that old one. Nah, I need this, Stormy. See? Every time I get on this show, I think it's something that I want. Nah, I need this. Yo, look at the Kraken right there. Ooh, that's scary. Ooh. Universal Truth, Jimmy Bernard, what up? PGA, salute. Yeah, that's scary looking. Look at that. Yo, did we do a review on the old monster toys and robots? Did we ever do that?
No.
We got to do that.
Let me write it down.
I had Godzilla. I had Mazinga. And there was someone called Raiden, and they had a cartoon back in the 70s too.
A friend of mine had Raiden. Which one did I have?
I had Godzilla and Mazinga. I know that for a fact. My boy across the street had Raiden, but there was like 3 more. There was one that was black and yellow.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of them. Every kid on the block had
Warriors.
One. There were what?
The Shogun
Warriors. That's them. Lone Star, salute. That's them, Shogun Warriors. The hand shot off.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sturdy. You could pull the leg off and pop it right back on.
And you know, for these films, like with what we're talking about, Clash of the Titans, they used to have films like, do you remember like the film, like, what was it called? It might have been called, it wasn't Attack of the Spiders, but it was a movie about a giant tarantula.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to make these little model kits out of the monsters, like King Kong, Godzilla, the giant spider I was just talking about, Rodan and stuff. They used to make these little model kits, and they would have like a cardboard backdrop, and the cardboard backdrop would look like something from the city, a couple of buildings or something like that.
Yeah.
And they would have a poof in the middle of the model kit, where if it's King Kong, let's just say he's hanging on to the top of the Empire State Building, and you know some things are around him and stuff. Or if it, like in the case, like I had the giant tarantula, where he was getting ready to knock over a giant tower, like a phone tower, not a phone tower, but electrical tower, like, you know.
Yeah.
And it has some crushed cars underneath it and stuff. It was like, but you had to put it together with this glue. It came, these model kits came in a little box about the size of a shoebox.
Right.
And it had everything in there, and you had to put the pieces together and everything. And I was kind of lazy. I didn't go out and buy the paint because the paint was sold separately and stuff. And it's like I remember when I put the giant spider together, he was supposed to be black. So you had to buy the paint. But I didn't buy the paint, so he was like a gray color. because it required him to be painted, right?
Right.
But yeah, they used to have all those model kits and stuff like that for these movies. And there used to be a magazine, Famous Monsters Inc. or something like that, where you could buy that magazine, and they talked about all the monster movies and stuff, Dracula, Frankenstein, all that stuff, Godzilla, and different characters would be on the court.
Pops had a few of those.
Yeah, it was called Famous Monsters Inc. It's a very old publication that was around a very long time, probably up into the 80s. But it's like, I used to have a few issues of that, and sometimes on the advertising page, they would have those model kits in there. And there were so many, and when they were painted the correct way, they looked so cool.
Oh man,
there
was nice, so many cool. And we need to talk about some of those things, because the models looked more realistic.
Yeah,
it looked more realistic than the toys.
Yeah,
toys today that I do see, they have model. They look like models, but the way they're made, the things that they do amazing. I'm like, man, if this thing was,
and you know what, the kids of today don't have the patience to put together model kits.
They don't.
They don't. That's what made it fun for us. Like you heard me say earlier in the show, remember erector sets?
Yes.
It required, dare I say it, brain
patient. Patient.
You had to
putting together a model, and you had to paint it. That took time, but you admire your work. It's like, you draw like I draw. You ever spent the whole day just drawing something?
Yeah.
And you just keep adding to it. I turn around, I get up 8 a.m, I'm drawing. I turn around, the sun going down. I'm like, damn, I've been at this all day, but I keep creating. And it's a fulfilling feeling. And ladies and gentlemen, it's the same thing when we do content.
Yep.
I can't fair use everything. I like to create stuff. I like to create the music. I like to create my conversation.
Sometimes I'm doing that when I'm doing my videos, You might see it as a 5 to 7, sometimes 8, because I used to do my videos longer, but now I keep them under 7 minutes, pretty much, 5 to 7 minutes, But to put together that video, it takes several hours, because I'm like finding my images, I'm finding the music, I'm finding out the points, talking points that I want to make while I'm doing the video.
The point is, it's fulfilling. When you get it out, it's fulfilling. You understand?
Yeah.
That's a creative mind, and unfortunately, there's not that many creative people out here. And these kids, by the way the world is designed, there's no patience for it, and that's why they give them more of that. And as to what Derek Gaines was saying, they don't have the patience for great storyline. They don't appreciate it. Everything is a shortcut. You just throw some goddamn good AI up there, and they're off to the races, and they're running, which is why we'll look at a movie like, man, the animation is great, the AI is great, but the story's horrible. Marvel Phase 4. I don't have nothing bad to say about that.
Derek says I had Godzilla and all the Shogun warriors. Did you brothers know that one of the warriors had a cartoon? It was called Transar Z.
That's Mazinga. Transor Z was Mazinga, but when it came to America, it was called Transor Z. But that was Mazinga. He had a spaceship that flew out the top of his head. But the toy, there was nothing removable there. Oh yeah, I remember that, man.
And salute to Lone Star Steph. He said that he followed over there at Rumble and can't wait for me to put more content. Yeah, man, these are options. And you guys, please subscribe to my Temple of Culture and Entertainment channel too, because I'm over there. This is simulcasting over there, but I'm trying to give you guys more. When we're doing this kind of stuff, not so much boxing, I'm trying to find places to plug it in for you. You know what I mean? So if you ain't for the boxing, you can go there just for that stuff. And the Kung Fu thing is just its own thing. So
you see this, Stormy?
Let me pull it. I gotta increase the page so I can see it. Oh yeah.
Now right now.
Now,
in Japan, there's something called the Bandai Museum.
the one
Stormy,
in
if
the
I go there, I'm
middle
gonna
with
pass
the
out.
V on his chest. Which one is that?
That's Mazinga.
That's Mazinga. That's the one I had.
I had that.
I couldn't think of his name.
I had that. Now the other two on the right, I don't know who that is, but on the far left, that's Raiden. Now my boy had the dude with the face on his chest in the yellow. Never knew his name. Now there's also some cats in the back.
Because Mazinga used to have, like, if you look at his left hand, it had those. You could put some like little like rockets in there.
Rockets,
and press
yeah.
the button. There was
They
like
were
those little red tabs. You press there and they shoot out. Now think
Complete
about this for a
showcasing.
minute. You know how now they don't make toys like that because they think a kid will put its eye out or something like that. When we were kids, we used to play with all that kind of stuff,
yes.
and there was never no warning on packages about putting your eye out or something, was it? Because we were smart enough to know don't put it up by your eye. Huh?
We would just get mad.
Like, oh, what is that? Oh, what is that?
We get mad when we lose a damn missile. Lost a missile all summer long. Like, damn it. Yeah, man. That's them right there. Look at that, man. Oh, man. I ain't see this in.
And you see that golden Godzilla there?
Yeah, this one. Look at that.
Yeah. Now, I had that, but it was green, the American version.
American version, yes.
It wasn't gold like that. And they had this little tab on the back of his head. You pull it down, and the fire come out.
Fire
like
came out.
But
Stormy, there's something.
I didn't like it. And he also had a fist that would shoot off. You could push a button, and his fist would shoot off. But I didn't like it because that was like the American Godzilla. I wanted one of the Japanese Godzillas because he had the fins on the back, like he's supposed to and everything. That one didn't have. He had these little bumps on his back that looked like little heels.
Yes.
But, you know, I'm like, man, that ain't Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? But I like the real Godzilla figures. So when I started going to Comic-Con and I started seeing all the real Godzilla figures, I was like, man, I would have died and gone to heaven if I had those when I was a kid. Because I was big on Godzilla, bro. And you see, I'm wearing my Praise Godzilla shirt.
That's right.
They sent me tonight. I'm wearing it.
That's right.
I was huge on Godzilla, bro.
In Japan,
there he is, next to the guy by his left arm. That's the Godzilla I had.
Yep. In Japan, they got something called the Bandai Namco Museum in Japan. And it's a walkthrough. And Stormy, they got any and everything. Yo, listen. Robotech, not Gundam. No. All right. They have the life-size head of the green robots that used to fight the Gundams.
Yeah.
And you can walk through the head and see the controls. It's life-size. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go here. It's the Bandai Museum. If you can put it on YouTube, man, I'll go there and man, look, they got a tour of it here. It is the greatest thing. Oh man, I gotta go. I gotta make it to Japan specifically for that. I'm looking at it right now. You know they got a life-size Gundam in some park in Japan, a life-size one. Wow. You just walk up to it. I gotta go to this place, man. I gotta go to this place. I gotta go to the Universal Studios out there in Japan too, because they have a Resident Evil ride. I want to go through that, and they also have an Attack on Titan exhibit over there. Mm-hmm. They have an Attack on Titan exhibit. I gotta go to that. I got to go to that, man. Yeah, that's what it is, Adrian. A Zaku, yes. They have a life-size head, and you walk through it, and man, I said, this is heaven right here. That right there is a complete guy's trip. Leave your wife at home, She don't understand what the hell. This is my childhood in my early teens. What did I do with my Godzilla? Like, what the hell? So that's Mazinga. That's the one I had. And that's Raiden on the right. That's Godzilla right there. And the dude on the red and blue on the far left, I don't even know who that is. But I've seen it before. Oh, man. Childhood was lit, man. Let me see something. Bandai Museum, Japan. Look at this. Look at that. Life size, look at that. Come on, man. Come on, man. You don't want to go to this? Look at this. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
That's life size right there. That's crazy. Look, Goku's hanging out outside. Just chilling. Come on, man.
There's a dude that I saw. He passed through my job.
Look, there it is. Look, there it is.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, God, I gotta go.
And that's in Japan?
That's in Japan. Oh, you know there's something on, I want to say it was on Netflix. Tell me if y'all saw this. On Netflix, it was a story about the guys on the other side of the war that were fighting against the Mobile Suit Gundams.
Uh-huh.
And it was telling their side of the story. And when the Gundams showed up, they couldn't beat them. And when he was blowing up those robots, I mean, people were dying. And they were like, yo, the Mobile Suit is here. What do we do? And he was kicking their ass. And they were trying to survive. Turns out the person operating the Mobile Suit was like a kid. It was a kid. And it was crazy because they ended up killing him at the end. It was sick. I think I saw it on Netflix. It was crazy. And it made the Gundams look like they were evil because you're seeing it from their side of things. It was crazy. Great story, too. Adrian said it's one of the side stories of the 1 year war. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I watched that. I said, man, that's pretty sad. It was like tragic. Like, oh, shit. Because you never think about it. You never think about it like that. It's like the guy swoops in. He starts blowing up all of these other mobile suits. You never consider that there's people driving those suits and they're getting killed.
Yeah.
And then you that one episode, that series, you're looking at it from their perspective, and it's like, yo, my man just got killed. He was in that mobile suit. Oh, snap. That's crazy. And sidebar. I'm getting a little sick of these I'm a little mad with what's that channel we follow? Death Battle. They just did Blade versus Buffy the Vampire Killer or Slayer. Do you know they made that bitch win? And I'm like, no. And then there's this brother that said, nah, that's wrong. And he broke down Blade's abilities, like for real. And he says, nah, there's no way Buffy beats him. Buffy's tough. But he was like, no. Blade does this, and this. They didn't even mention this. And I said, whoa. And I feel the same way. They did 2 death battles, and they had Superman beat Goku. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Storm. I know you don't know much about Dragon Ball, but there ain't no fucking way Kal-El is beating Goku. That's not happening. That's bullshit. Goku is too goddamn powerful, but I digress. Tired of this. But yeah, I gotta go to the Bandai Museum.
let's take this down for 1 second.
Yeah.
I want to play this. Back to Clash of the Titans for a moment.
Provide him with suitable weapons. Weapons of divine temper. A helmet, a shield,
sword.
Find and fulfill your destiny.
The myth,
Made him invisible.
the magic, the mystery, the majesty.
Destroy Argos! Let loose the last of the Titans.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer presents Clash of the Titans. The good, the evil, the danger, the daring.
How may a mortal man face and defeat the Kraken?
Clash of the Titans. The combat, the courage, the splendor, the spectacle. Clash of the Titans. Starring Harry Hamlin as Perseus, Judy Bowker as Andromeda, Burgess Meredith, Maggie Smith, Ursula Andress,
It gets no shot,
Blue.
Perseus.
Sean Phillips, Flora Robeson, and Laurence Olivier as Zeus. Before history, beyond imagination. Clash of the Titans.
Don't laugh at that stop motion animation, man. That was state of the art for his time, man.
It was.
Yeah. Adrian says he agrees with Superman beating Goku. He was breaking reality. We got to have a talk about that because Goku does some amazing shit. You know, but I ain't agree with that. But
No, I was saying that there was a dude that came through my job, some young dude, and he had a hairstyle like Goku. Now, what was interesting was like, he walked through. I said, "Hey, man." He looked at me and smiled. I was like, "You know what I'm getting ready to say." I said, "Dude, you look just like that damn comic book character." He was like, laughing. He was like, "Yeah, I get that all the time with this hairstyle, man." He had his that product in his hair that make his hair like that. I was like, "You look just like that damn comic character, bro."
that's funny as hell.
This
That's
was like,
funny.
this is about maybe 3 weeks ago. I saw that guy. He must have been getting ready for Halloween. I don't know. It was just like, but he had the look.
The story is with the Saiyans is that when they're born, their hair just grows in those particular styles. They don't cut it like that or nothing. That's just how it grows. You know, that's the story with them. But there's only one bald one named Nappa. So, you know, that's the only bald Saiyan that I've ever seen.
And salute to that brother, TV, because he been calling Terrence Crawford.
He been calling Bud. He said he was Bud went the Ultra Instinct on his ass. I said, "Oh my God, man."
And you know, Bud don't do his hair out again in those locks.
Yeah.
Stuff, man. So it's like, when he said that about Bud, it made me laugh. You know, I was like, he called that perfectly.
I just got a notification for his thing too. I wonder what he got going on. Yeah, that's funny as hell. Aki, salute to Aki, man. Cool dude, man. Hey, man, Emergency Awesome just released another video. Yeah, you'll see it. Oh, I watched that other video you sent me.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Right?
It sounds, it makes sense. That's the thing. The way it was broken down, it makes sense.
Yeah, man. I was like, boy, if this is true, oh boy. It is really going to be
made
something.
sense. It made sense. Let me see something. I got a feeling.
And you know, it's pretty much a done deal. Like Damson Idris is the new Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. Well, we ain't talking boxing. Yeah, you'll see it.
Are we? I'm still good on Rumble.
Yeah, got 5 eyes on us. Yeah. We good.
It's pretty cool because we got our views are stretched out across all 3 channels. It's on this one, the Temple of Culture and Entertainment I got on my tablet here, and then you can see the Rumble over there. So that's great stuff. And I want to say thank you to everybody that's come over to Rumble and signed up with us and following us over there, because believe you me, it's going to be a great outing for us to be able to move our content around and have options, you know.
And I want y'all to think about that. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Adrian Vet. Thank you. I'm gonna check that. I might check that tonight, actually. No restrictions over there like that. You know what I mean? That when we want to play previews like we did, like the preview just played, maybe next week they're gonna be like, well, you're gonna have to cut that out. You know, we don't know what they're gonna do over there in Rumble. I don't think they do things like that.
No, they don't. They just you can play your stuff. Yeah.
So, you know, no restrictions, unedited. You know, you're not gonna go over the top of the vulgar. We just don't run a program like that. But you know, it's a lot more better. You know, play the music you want, play the previews you want. And what's great is we can still run it through StreamYard. That's like great. That's great. So, you know,
and as soon as I get my OBS together, I'll be running it over there too.
Yes, sir.
Oh
man, like, you know, can you imagine doing a fight reviews, a throwback fight review over there, and not have to worry about this nonsense? Oh man, I'm excited about that, man.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Oh, this is great, man. But the story in the remake, it was I think Adrian was saying it was tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
They tweaked it a little bit.
But they said that this film was the one that paid most homage to the mythologies and everything.
Right.
And even though it was made in the year and time that it was made, you can kind of see that they did take it serious. You know, it wasn't campy. It was, you know, for the time that it was made, they were serious about what they were trying to do.
Right. Man, that's awesome. But this I wonder. Yeah, you got yours on DVD, right? I don't have it. I'm sure I could find it somewhere. Now, I want to watch it. The original Clash of the Titans. Yeah.
I have it on Blu-ray and DVD.
Oh, okay.
Because when the new one in 2010 came out and went to home video, they brought the old one out on Blu-ray.
How does it look on Blu-ray?
Oh, it looks pretty good. Like, you remember Flash Gordon when they did that and they remastered it on Blu-ray? It's kind of like that. Did
we talk about Flash Gordon the movie?
Yeah, we did a show on Flash Gordon. We
sure did, didn't we?
Yep.
Oh man!
And you know what? I'm pissed off because when I bought the Flash Gordon DVD Blu-ray steelbook, right? And then a few months later, they released it in 4K. I was like, man, you guys you just released the damn thing, you know. So I'm not buying it again, but it's like I know it looks awesome on 4K. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen Flash Gordon. What year that came out? 80 what?
I think that was 80 or 81 too.
That was one of those
soundtrack by King.
When that came out, I saw that in the movies, right? But watch this. when it came out on VHS, that was one of the movies, right? My Uncle Gary, that was one. He had one of the first VHS. It was him and his boy. They were the only two. We were the only two houses that had it on the block, right? They fell off a truck allegedly, so we didn't ask no questions. But we were so fascinated with the thing. You want to know how old it was, Stormy? The remote had a cord that plugged into it. It wasn't,
Yeah, I had one of those VHS players, man.
Right, and the tape went in the top, and you pressed it down.
Press it down.
And one of the first movies he had was Flash Gordon. And you know what the second one he got? Robin Williams as Popeye. Great film.
Oh yeah.
Great film.
We got to do a show on that.
We got to.
Let me tell you something. For all the work that Robin Williams was noted for, that film was severely underappreciated at the time that it was made. The critics killed it. But dude, it was a movie based on the cartoon, and it was live action, and it was perfect because Robin Williams brought Popeye to life. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Even down to the arms and the forearms and the forelegs, you know, the bow legs.
Yeah.
He was something else, man. He played the hell out of that role. And then the other guy, the older dude from, if I'm not mistaken, is that the old guy that was from Lost in Space?
Yes.
He played Pappy. Pappy. Poop Deck Pappy. And Popeye's father. And they both look just like the characters.
They brought those guys to life.
Of the pages of the comics. Dude, we got to do a show on Popeye. Let me write that down.
Yes. Popeye. That's an underrated film. I saw that in the movie.
Played Olive Oil. She played her perfectly.
That was brilliant.
Like Olive Oil.
And what's his name? That's crazy. Because the dude that played the King of the Hawkmen in Flash Gordon, that's the guy that played Bluto.
Bluto, yeah.
Oh, man. He had both of those on VHS. And I watched that for like, every time I went to my aunt's house, I was watching that. Man.
There's another movie we got to do. And I've written it down already because it popped in my mind. I just wrote it down. The first DVD I ever bought of a film, a movie, was Russell Crowe's Gladiator.
Wow. Yeah,
I watched that movie so many times. Gladiator.
Let me ask you something. When that movie came out, I remember the buzz around it. It was like a big deal. Like when it was being released. And I was trying to figure out why was it such a big deal. It wasn't a bad film. But I was trying to figure out, like, I was like, man, you know, what?
Well, you know, sword and sandal flicks were so popular, going all the way back to Kirk Douglas and Spartacus and stuff like that, which Gladiator took a lot of elements from. It brought them back. It brought that back. You know, sometimes you'll go generations and, you know, certain genre of film was popular for a while and then it dies out. But there's a movie that'll rekindle it. Gladiator did that for the sword and sandal flicks.
Okay.
There were other films like when Clint Eastwood did movies like The Unforgiven. That brought Westerns back. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Tombstone and Young Guns and all of that stuff. It came like right, you know, one right after another because there was a rekindling of the genre with that. Just like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon brought American interest back to martial art films again. He was able to come through with that. You know what I'm saying? So there's usually a movie that'll do that and trigger through the genre, and you have to have a pulse on what's going on to even understand that it's happening that way. But that's what it was with Gladiator, and the fact that what's his name? Tony was it Tony Curtis passed away during the making of the film. You know, because he was playing that guy that was overseeing them at the
Right.
at the Coliseum and stuff.
Right.
And when he passed away, he still had a few scenes to shoot in the movie, and that was one of the first films that they used CGI to finish his role off in the movie.
Yeah.
They didn't completely finish it, but they used a couple of shots and altered shots, scenes he had filmed already,
Right.
and they altered it and played around with it and made him in the movie where he didn't never even play in the movie. So it's like, yeah, that was something that was
Stormy. I'm thinking, damn. That's why I love this show. Best weapons in films.
Yeah.
The iconic weapons in films. That is going to be something. Most iconic weapons in films. That's going to be something. Because
there is a kung fu film called Shaolin Kung Fu Mr. God. And it has a couple of other names. They escape me at the moment because I'm thinking about a whole lot of stuff right now. But that film right there stars Carter Wong and Chang Yi, two guys that you've seen them in dozens of kung fu films before. But Chang Yi is playing a villain in this. He's a rebel from Shaolin that's trying to help the Qings destroy Shaolin. And so he's betrayed him. And he got this, you know, they wear the hair with the ponytail, right?
Yeah.
Well, he got this Reed Richards like gray hair on the side like that. It's real distinctive. And he looks pretty cool with it, right? But he got these weapons that they call the Bloody Birds. Dude, those weapons, when he pulls them out, like they be attached into his belt, and he pulls them out and they look like feathers, right? Like 3 big feather blades, but they metal.
Right.
And he does something like he turns them or something because they're flat. He turns them and they're inside of a like some kind of round cylinder, and they spin like this, and he throw them like boomerangs, and he could catch them, but he cuts people's heads off with it and stuff. Dude, it's cold-blooded. It's like, so when you said that's one of the coldest weapons that I have seen in movies, it's almost as bad as the Master of the Flying Guillotine.
Flying Guillotine. Oh man,
but
that's brutal.
They call his the Bloody Birds. Look that movie up, Shaolin Kung Fu Mr. God. It should be on YouTube or something. But it's cold-blooded, man. You see that dude pull those weapons out.
Was that the son? You remember the Sonny Chiba movie where he had his son and he was a samurai? I think was that Sonny Chiba, and his son had the carriage, but the carriage had blades on the wheels.
No, that's Shogun Assassin. That's
Shogun Assassin. Yes.
Yeah. That they call that Lone Wolf and Cub. That was a whole series.
We need
and
that.
They cut a couple of films down and edited them into a movie called Shogun Assassin. But that was a whole series. I think he did. I forget the guy that the actor. Can't think of his name. I'm having a brain fart right now. But in those films, I think he did about 18 of those Lone Wolf and Cub films, and I got the whole box set. But food for thought on that, the guy that played that role, they call him the Lone Wolf. His brother, the real life brother, is the guy that plays Zatoichi, the blind swordsman.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so they're brothers. And
that's crazy.
They Zatoichi had a ton of those films that he made. Zatoichi, there's even one called Zatoichi versus the one-armed swordsman played by Jimmy Wong Yu.
Oh wow.
Yeah, check that out. So
Wow.
we can talk about a lot of stuff.
Oh wait, one more. We could call this show Space, the Final Frontier. I want to talk about all the shows, movies, and shows that took place in outer space. And one of the most underrated things that y'all might have forgotten about was Battlestar Galactica. I was on TV. There was a movie. I think it was a movie first, and then it was a series.
You know, that's going to be a part 1 because we can do multiple shows on that. Space, the Final Frontier. Great title too, by the way. Great title.
Thank you. That's
Listen,
dope. Buck Rogers.
Off the top of your head, and we could probably throw that in that show. What movie comes to your mind where you think, because we really don't know what space is like, what movie would you say depicted space the most realistic?
Realistic? There's a movie called oh shit. I can't think of this movie's name, but there was some I think extraterrestrials was coming to Earth, and it was like, well, what's going on? And dude was like, something wonderful. It's like they weren't coming to harm us. There's that. I'll think of the name of the film. But then there was yeah, Derek, you said The Black Hole. I'm gonna agree with you. Maximilian. Yeah, The Black Hole, because space is kind of like scary to me. But when
what's the one where just was done a few years ago by Ridley Scott? The one where dude drank the stuff and he went into the ocean, and that was supposed to be how man formed.
That was the prequel to Aliens, and it's like how xenomorphs came. And
yeah, what's the name of that movie? I can't think of the title.
Derek, what's the name of that? Adrian, what's the name of that film? Prometheus.
There you go. Prometheus.
Oh,
that movie there, bro. I'm gonna tell you, when I watched Prometheus, I was sitting there like, you know, because I understood what they were trying to say, but I was like, man, they came up with it had my wheels turning.
It's saying like they're probably saying everything. What it was saying in that film was like everything that how we perceive it is not what it is.
Right.
And that's some scary shit. There was also a story in Marvel. I could never find it, but Apocalypse, the first mutant on Earth, but had like space technology or whatever happened to him, right? He was monologuing in a book, and I read this back when I was like in 8th grade. And he was telling this woman, nothing is what you think it is. Look at the things that you pray to. Think about it. The parting of the Red Sea, water into wine, walking on water. He was talking about Moses and Jesus. He says, all of those are my children. They're mutants. And I was reading that like, oh, snap. That's going to hurt somebody's feelings. Can you imagine? It wasn't God. It had nothing to do with God. Jesus was a mutant. You know, he said, who dies and comes back on a certain day? I brought him back. That's my... And I never saw that book again. I think people complained about it because this was like the late 80s. I said, oh, man, that's a tough pill to swallow. And I was thinking about it. I said, that's kind of dope, though. Moses parted the Red Sea.
You know what? But that goes along with that video I sent you this afternoon. Like what they may be doing with Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. Dude, that whatever, even if that's only a little bit of something that is going to be in that movie, that's enough to really make it like it's going to be far out. Far out.
Sidebar, it's official. Netflix MVP, they dropped that debacle. I just saw it. Blue Blood.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So Good. So I'll cook on that tomorrow. It's good.
And make sure you include what he had to say about
Victor Conti.
Yeah. Dude, that right there, that's one of the most ignorant things. You know, maybe the best place for him might be where they put them bars in front of you. Huh?
I told man, listen, I said that the other day, you know, Mike Tyson went to jail on some BS. I think that chick lied on him. What's her name? Desiree Washington. I think she lied on him. But at that time, Mike was doing way too much in the streets, a lot of things that didn't make the news. And the best thing for him was to go sit his ass down. And of all things, he went to jail over a lie because that chick lied on him. But the law was itching just to put his black behind bars. And that was the best thing for him. He didn't do it, but they locked him up for it. But it was at the perfect time because it was only a matter of time before somebody did something to Mike in the street. You know what I'm saying? And so he needed to have some reflection on his life. And that was probably the best, in hindsight, it was the best place for him. And this kid, Tank, his mind not being what it is, his fans don't want to hear it, but the best thing for him is outside of the ring. He needs some counseling or just stay out of the public eye because he keep messing with these chicks, he gonna be in jail. And these chicks, they got dudes that look to make names for themselves. I'm like, man, they ain't gonna fight Tank, or they ain't gonna fight him fair. They're gonna do what happens if Tank get jumped in the street? He can't beat everybody up. These dudes is human. What if someone says, oh, I ain't fighting this kid, he come too close, bang, now he get blicked off. Now what?
Listen.
Yeah, man.
This stuff happens, bro. That Hector Camacho.
Yeah. And he went to Puerto Rico. He went home and that happened.
He was in his hometown, and that kid from the Steve Harvey show that played Romeo. You know,
that was right up here.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like you playing with fire. You know, you out here, and them little folks that covet you and hold you and celebrate you and all of that, they ain't gonna be able to do nothing for you. And when you not here no more, they gonna step right over you and they'll find something else, whatever.
That's right.
Notice I said something else, not something else. Something else.
That's right.
You're just Mr. Right Now. That's all.
That's all. So you know he'll figure it out, and I'm not wishing him harm, but when he puts himself in those situations, and I talk about it, don't call me a hater. I'm just gonna say, hey man, I told you this was gonna happen. All you guys did was enable him. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Derrick Gaines Action. Did I watch Marvel Zombies? I did. They've gotten far away from the comic, and they still woking everything, and it makes me angry. Every time
that's one of the reasons I kind of pull back from watching the Marvel content on Disney Plus, because you know I'm tired of that, bro. I don't want that.
Yeah, they did way too much, and every time I turn around, the females are the last ones standing. It's like, what are y'all? Come on.
And the funny thing about it is, we're not even talking about the females are not important or integral to storytelling.
Right. That's not what we're saying.
But what we're talking about is the fact that the male audience is what built the industry to begin with, meaning like we were the ones that were dreaming of heroic figures and things like this, and we wanted to see the stories and this and that. The females have always like, why are you watching that nerdy stuff? Why are you know what I'm saying? It's like they were never. It's just like a perfect example of this is this: the WNBA. Who's in the stadium?
The majority of them are dudes.
And where are the women to support to justify when they say that they should make what the men make and everything and all of that kind of stuff. Where they at?
They're at the NBA games. That's where they at.
Doing what?
Watching men.
And trying to do what?
Talk to men.
Catch men. Catch them in a case.
Mm-hmm.
Get them caught up.
That's
Get
right.
to their rooms.
That's
and all of that stuff. Stop it. You know, come on.
It's ridiculous.
Freaking ridiculous, man.
I saw this podcast where these two chicks was talking and they were trying to. They said, "Yeah, what do you feel about the MNBA?" And I said, "What the fuck is an MNBA?" And somebody in the chat was like, "Oh, you mean the NBA?" Yeah, well, that's the male NBA, and then there's a female NBA. I said, "No, it's called the NBA." We'll try and create something. Strong ass woman, you created we created the WNBA, men. And y'all been on charity lines ever since. It's ridiculous. I already told them, I already put out an idea on how they could increase seat sales and stuff like that. They don't like it. But all you boss chicks need to show up there in droves and look as good as you can look on camera. And you'll get men going there to try and holler at y'all. Just like y'all get all dressed up to try and holler at these athletes. I don't see any men going to pick up chicks that you don't see any groupie dudes at the side door. Hey, ma, yo, can I take you out? Can you take me out? No, you don't see it like that. Man, there's 1,000,000,001 reasons why that place is failing. It's been a crashing ship and it's disgusting.
Did you hear what 78 said earlier about the comment that he left on Clarissa Shields' page?
Who's that?
78. When he said he left a comment on Clarissa Shields' page, because she had one of her little outfits on or whatever.
Yeah.
As his the character he does. What's that? The old
Willie Earl.
Willie Earl, yeah.
Willie Earl.
He commented. Willie Earl commented on Clarissa's picture. It was like, "I want you and I gotta have you," or something like that he said, right? It's just joking around, of course,
Yeah.
And he said he was inundated with all these comments. Who you think you are? She don't want you. She ain't thinking about you. You ain't got nothing for her. It was like just all this, and all he was doing was kidding around, Dude.
You see, these women create an environment. First of all, these modern women don't like men. All right. They're being led by a bunch of feminists. I'm sorry. These are lesbians parading and masquerading as feminists. And all they're doing is grooming these chicks. Because what happens is when they attack 78 for just joking like that, men see that and say, you know what? I ain't even going to comment. I'm not even going to. And mind you, we watch more boxing than those women do. All right. When you chase us away and we're not around, we take our eyesight with us. We take our attention with us, and we leave y'all alone. And then the ship starts sinking. And then how does that become our fault? It's not. It's not our fault. You ladies, man, we giving you everything you asked for. Is to be left what? Alone. When you be left alone, you start failing. And it's not our fault. We left y'all alone. You have a whole basketball league and it's failing on its face. And we didn't do it to you. You did it to yourself. Y'all will be just fine.
One of the things that I found about the movie Wonder Woman, getting back to what we do here, one of the things I found that was really gratifying and also something I could really support is at no point in the movie did anyone stop for a moment and say, hey, that's a woman doing that. It was like they never preached to you that Diana is outstanding. That she's this or that. I mean, there were those who witnessed some of her feats and they kind of gaped or whatever, but it was never. Patty Jenkins did a great job of depicting that, because not only did that make people embrace the character even more, but it allowed what the character does and how they act and enact with people to be received. You're not banging us over the head all the time saying that's a lady, that's a woman, get out the way, you're a man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They didn't do that, which was really great. And I can even trick it back into Batman versus Superman, in the moment where the Trinity came together against what's the name? That
Doomsday.
character. Huh?
Doomsday,
yeah. And Kal-El turns to Bruce and is like, is she with you? And he's like, I thought she was with you. You know, but it was like, even they didn't be like, man, where are you from, woman, doing all this? You know what I'm saying? It was like, he just asked, is she with you? And Bruce was like, I thought she was with you. And
nope.
it was like, that was so cool. It was cool.
I mean, hit us in the head with.
No, but check it out. What I'm saying is so subtle, but it's important, because your eyes don't lie to you. That's a woman. These are men. She's super. She's doing stuff. The men are there too, or whatever. But okay, let's continue with the story. Let's drive it forward. Let's see what you got. You know, that's pretty cool. Captain Marvel, on the Marvel side, that girl that was in the Doctor Strange movie, that rock character in the Thor film, they banging you over the head.
Yes.
With, I'm a woman. I got 2 moms. We go to the bottom of a mountain and hold hands, and we reproduce and all of this with the same sex characters. And it's like, what? Why? Why? It's not necessary. It's not.
And they made his boyfriend look like Freddie Mercury. Did you peep that?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God, man.
And I had to call it to your attention that they had him teaching the children.
Kids, yes. Yes.
Like they're trying to do in your real schools with your real children. Let's sit down, boys and girls. Let me tell you about a COCK. What? What that got to do with history? What it got to do with 1 + 1 = 2? Get out of here with that, man. And they keep banging you over the head with this stuff. This is why, listen, and I'm just being honest when I say this, that James Gunn universe of crap, what he's doing, that's why that's failing. That's why that's failing, because it's like he's a weirdo himself, and they've given the keys to him to run rampant with these IPs and these characters that have existed for 75, 80 years. He's damaging every damn thing. Telling stories that people don't nobody. When I heard about that Peacemaker, that first episode that they had a O in there, and I'm like, why? And they tell me that
he ain't wasting no time, bro.
And everything. I'm like, you know what? You're a freak. Just like that dude Taika when he was making that Thor movie and all that stuff. That stuff is unnecessary.
You know, it was too much, man. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I like the series The Boys, but I was watching that Gen V. You know, I can't get through it because every episode there's some over-the-top OD gay stuff that happens. It's like, yo, why y'all doing this? I don't need, bro. All right, man. Okay.
It's almost now they've assigned it like, we got to have this in here. We got to put this in there. you know. And guess what? Just like how you treat your meals, you go to the grocery store. You don't have to put everything in your grocery cart. You don't have to put everything on your plate. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to do that. And these people need to be shown and told. And like the brother harsh critic says, while it's closed, don't support that foolishness.
That's right.
Because I mean, like you and I, we talk about similar. You draw, I draw. We do that stuff because we be inspired and stuff. It's like creativity. That's a natural thing. Why put the perverted in there? We do what we do because we want to escape this reality.
That's right.
The reality is stressful enough. It's like, man, these people got, there's something wrong. And so all we want to do is see it right. We want to create a hero who can make it better, take away the pain. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because it really, and here you are steady adding to it.
Killing
that
us.
Stuff is sick, man.
Close your wallet. Close your wallet. Well, I gotta get a move on. This medicine kicking in.
Yeah.
Man, this has been a great show, man. It's been
a final thoughts, bro. Go ahead and give us your final thoughts.
I would recommend, if your eyes could tolerate it, you could watch the original Clash of the Titans from 1981. Watch it in black and white if you can. Watch it in. But storyline, I like what Derek said earlier. Storyline is what I'm into. But a lot of this stuff is nostalgia for me. But it's a classic. It's a classic. And I would recommend it. All of the things that we watch, from Gladiator to the remakes of Clash of the Titans to the video games. I told you about Rygar, a remake for PS2, God of War, all of this stuff. I like to say Clash of the Titans was the figurehead of where all that stuff came from. So great story, great cast, and it's a popcorn film. So just enjoy it, man. I recommend it, man. And we're gonna be back right here next week. I don't know what we're doing next week yet, but I'll be here. Next Monday? I might not be here. I'll let you know. I don't know if I'm leaving Monday or Tuesday, but I'll let you know, Stormy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, thank you, man, for toughing it out with us this evening, and hopefully you get better soon, man. I don't like to see when brothers be suffering, because I know you going through, and you being a real trooper for being out here, even with doing your own content on your channel. People don't know what you're dealing with, so I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you a lot for what you do. And we're gonna get ready to sign it on off. I don't have a lot more to say myself. I just want to thank everybody that came out and showed the support across all three channels, because on the Stormybman Temple of Culture and Entertainment, you guys have a good conversation going over there. It's a whole different conversation going on. And then I don't see the Rumble, but I know it's up there. And Drew said that early on we had like 4 or 5 people over there. So
we had 9 max at one point.
Yeah.
We moving, man.
Yeah. So
it's great. I feel good having options, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us this evening. This show is a great show to just kind of unwind and just be normal and nerd out over stuff. And it don't just have to be movies. We talk about cultural things. We talk about music. We talk about books and everything that's a part of what we do in our regular lives. So that's why it's good to come here and participate here, So, and some of you guys may have some great ideas as well. And, being in the chat where you can share some ideas and say, oh, okay, we'll do that. We'll have a discussion on that.
Or y'all in the chat, very important. Very important.
Yeah. Or even expand by inviting you guys up you know, to have a small panel of discussions. We can open things up in that way. There's so much potential for so much room for improvement that we do over here. So just know that. But yeah, we're gonna say good evening for now, and thanks everybody tuning in. Want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we're gonna head on out of here. Peace to everybody. So,
all right, so, man, I'll talk to you tomorrow, brother.
Okay, man.
All right.
All right, everybody. We catch you guys next week for another Nerds on Culture.